Hey, sports fans, it's me, Larry Eater. It's RunBlogRun, and this is your favorite program in the known universe, athletics chat. Next to Socialing the Distance, this is your favorite. Although I'm watching Euphoria right now for the second time on Netflix, and it's quite good. I do recommend it. Anyway, so you know the deal. Once a week, Stuart Weir, the European editor for RunBlogRun. Did I make him an editor today? He's a European senior writer, for RunBlogRun. He's based in Oxford, England, the intellectual capital of the world. They've had a university there before the University of Paris. I think Paris was about 1130, and Oxford's been around since about 1050, so for a while. Anyway, Stuart lives there, and I am habitating in San Jose, California. I've been here off and on since 1974, and I'm in my parents' house. And in the middle of October, I'm going back to Wisconsin to be in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, where I have a lovely farmhouse and friends. And I go to a place called Scotty's Eat More, which is the greatest dive in the world for breakfast, and with real characters. It could be its own really nice TV show. So I've digressed already. But so today, what do we talk about? Today we talked about the Doha Diamond League. It was the last meet of the season. Doha is normally the first big outdoor elite meet of the season. It's normally held in the middle of May, and then we go to Shanghai, and then we go to Prefontaine, and then we go to Rome and all that stuff. Well, this year it was the last one, and they did a great job. Some pretty amazing performances. Arthur Cease from South Africa won the 200 in a PB. There was a very fast 800 meters. There was a brilliant 1500. Stuart McSewan from Australia took the Australian record for the 1500 from Ryan Gregson. He now owns the 1500, the 3000, and the 10,000. And he's, I believe, Stuart's running the 10 on October 7th, seeing if he can take that record down a wee bit. So we shall see. Mondo Duplantis, Sam Kendricks, and Renaud Villeneuve tied at 582, a rather pedestrian height for them, since Mondo has had, I think, 16 meets, and what, about 7 of them over 6 meters? So I'll have to go back and check. But pretty amazing season, and a long season for these guys, although it was rather compact, July and August, and now September. On the women's side, Faith Kipyegon, her first 800 since Rieti 2015. She ran on 157.8, fastest time in the world. She won 1,000 meters a couple times. 1,500 she ran quite well as well. And Stuart thinks she should be the athlete of the year, which is, my thoughts exactly. Pretty impressive. Helen Obiri, another argument for athlete of the year, 822, just a screaming 3,000 meter. In fact, 7 of the women behind her got personal best. And some came, so close. Laura Waitman was, a quarter of a second off. And Jessica Hull, after a 1,500 Aussie record and a 5,000 Aussie record, now set a 3,000 record. And I thought a 3,000, I thought she'd run about 10 seconds faster, but I just think she's wiped. Jessica's a farmer duck, University of Oregon athlete, and has been running very, very well. So congratulations to Jessica, and the Aussies have done quite well this season. But the Doha meet was fantastic. What was weird was normally the Doha Stadium is full, and it's full of fans from the Philippines, from Kenya, and from Ethiopia. And how, you ask, in Doha, Qatar? Well, they're normally the, what would you call them? Transient workers, immigrant workers that do a lot of the work in Qatar. And what the meet directors normally do is they bring in a big rock star from the Philippines, and they give them discounts on food and shirts and stuff like that. And the place is rocking. I've gone to the meet, I think, 8 times in 10 years, and absolutely loved the meet. It's a great way to start the season. The flights from San Francisco are rather long, but they're still fun, and they get to catch up on movies. So Anywho's, it's the Doha meet. I hope to get back there next year. I love the meet direction. My only caveat was I wish they would have supplied photos to media post event so we had something that we could showcase the meet on. When I do coverage of the meet, as you know, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram with photos. We do our stories on RunBlogRun, and then we distribute them through Buffer as well. And we also have our nightly newsletter. And photos make everything look better, and it gives you a view of what's going on. But we did include some wonderful videos from the mix zone, so thank you, meet directors in Doha. And then we talked about a few other things as well. The London Marathon's coming up next week, October 4th. That's going to be very, very fast. Understand the women starts at 7, the men starts at 10. Wheelchair, I think, will be at 1 p.m. Why? You got a loop around St. James Park, 19.5 laps. Someone runs a 2:04, another person runs a 2:09. They're getting lapped. So it's a little craziness. But London figured out how to do it. And then everything else is a virtual race there, too. So BBC will be covering it. We'll be covering it live as well, which means that I, just stay up all night and have some really good coffee from Pete's, which will be a lot of fun. But a couple years ago, I think I covered Berlin, staying up all night in Hawaii in 2017. So this shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, so we talked about London. We talked about Doha. What do we got coming up? October 7th is going to be Joshua Cheptegei going after Kenenisa Bekele's 26:17.8 10,000-meter record. It's going to be tougher than the 5,000 challenge for him. It's just going to be a tough. And Joshua is a great athlete, but Bekele was so on form at that time. So can he do it? I think he'll break the record by maybe a second and a half, but it's going to be close, and it's going to be exciting. And thanks to NN Running Team and the Valencia World Record Day, you'll be able to watch it from España. So it should be a lot of fun. What else do we have going on in the world? Well, most of the marathons have been shut down for this year. I just put up a note that California International is going to be shut down. But you can't do them right now with COVID. But we want to talk about athletes of the year. And the no-brainer is on the men's side, Mondo Duplantis. But I think Ryan Krauser should get a good pat on the back, too. And I think there's a few other athletes out there, too. We'll see what happens with Joshua Cheptegei as well. The Ugandan distance runner is in great form and virtually runs a world record anytime he wants to. But the thing about it is there's a lot of work involved there, and the level of training that he's doing it at needs to be respected. And he makes it look easy because he's that damn good, okay? When someone runs a 4-minute mile or breaks a 4-minute mile, you go, my gosh, they look so relaxed. And there's been, 5,500 4-minute miles. It's difficult to do. It requires endurance, speed, endurance, strength, perfect storm. And then you've got people who can put 3 miles like that, a 4:02 pace, together in a 5,000 world record. World records are meant to be tough. They're meant to be respected. You're not going to break them every day. People that do them a couple times during a season, it's impressive. But remember the great Ron Clark from the 1960s. At one time, he held, I believe, the world records from 2 miles to 10,000, actually up to an hour. Then Gaston Roland broke his hour record. The pretty impressive Belgian who ran, an 8:40 when he was 42 in the steeplechase. Kind of impressive there, too. But athletes of the year. So Mondo Duplantis, I think, number one on the men's side. Ryan Krauser, you got to tip the hat to. Joshua Cheptegei could do it. And then on the women's side, Stuart is talking about Faith Kipyegon. I think Faith is a great argument. World leader in the 800, world leader in the 1,000, and a very fast time in the 1,500. But then you look at people like Elaine Thompson, Fast Elaine, 1085, 1087, 1086 this season, and a very compact season. You look at athletes like Laura Muir. Look how many times she's gone sub 4 minutes, in Gemma Ricci. So there's some good arguments out there for some time. Shelby Houlihan. Shelby has just been absolutely fantastic. If you get a chance, know that Dave Hunter is writing for us again. David was taking a little bit of a break, and part of it was we were trying to find new sponsors, and I had to watch what extra cost and stuff we were dealing with. And David just did a piece on Valerie Allman, the young woman who broke the American record for the discus, and 230 feet, I believe it was 2 inches, and 7:15 for 70:15 meters, 70.15. And the story has been really popular on the social media. In fact, our most popular story of the month, next to Dathan Ritzenheim. So I encourage you to read that as well. Sorry, I got a little bit of caffeine I needed right there. What else for this Athletics Chat 20? We talked about the lockdowns in front of us. It looks like much of the U.S. is continuing to have challenges, and we have a national election in 4 weeks, and there's a lot of anxiety and frustration over that. And so that's going to take up most of America's attention. I sure hope people wear their mask and wash their hands. We understand the new strain of COVID may be a little more challenging, and then we also have the flu coming. So please, if you're in any of the risk groups, make sure you get your flu shot. I'm going to get mine this week. And the vaccines, we're hopefully going to see vaccines in wide distribution next year. Just don't know when. It takes time. And I think we're in this place where it's all about immediate gratification, and it just doesn't happen, especially in science, especially with nature, especially dealing with pandemics. So we've got to be patient. We got to take care of each other. This is Larry Eder, RunBlogRun, Athletics Chat 20. Stuart Weir, thank you again. 20 weeks you put up with me, and I really appreciate it. Mike Deering, thank you for producing, managing, and trying to keep me under control. It's a 12-step program. I appreciate it. Larry Eder, signing off.